Imagine this. Your heart is a quiet house, but outside a storm is raging, filled with judgment, stress, comparison, and pressure. Every time someone criticizes you, every time the world overwhelms you, a window opens and the storm gets in. You freeze, you overthink, you break. But what if you could learn to close the windows, not to shut the world out, but to protect your peace within? Today, we're going to follow the story of Aiko, a quiet, thoughtful girl who learns something few people ever master: emotional immunity. Aiko's journey is not about becoming numb or unfeeling. It's about learning to stay grounded even when the world shakes, about feeling deeply without drowning, and about realizing that peace isn't what the world gives you, it's what you build inside yourself. Aiko is 17, quiet, sensitive, a thinker. On the outside, she's calm, polite, the kind of student teachers love. But inside, she's drowning. Every comment feels personal. Every silence feels like rejection. Every mistake feels like failure. She tries to hide it, smiles when she's supposed to, nods when people talk. But her mind is busy replaying everything she did wrong that day.
Why does everything hit me so hard? Why can't I just let things go?
At school, her classmates laugh and tease each other. It's harmless. Until someone says, "Your voice is so weird when you read aloud." They laugh, and Aiko laughs too. But inside, it's like a hook buried in her chest. It will stay there for days. One day, after a group project, a classmate says, "This part was confusing. Did you even check it? It's not cruel. It's not even meant to hurt." But it breaks something in her. Aiko rushes to the bathroom. She locks the door. She leans against it and presses her hands over her ears. Because it's not just this comment, it's everything she's carried. The times she stayed quiet, the times she smiled through pain, the tiny cuts that never healed. She slides to the floor, tears streaming down. She feels small, alone, broken, and she wonders,
Why can't I handle this? Why does everything get to me?
That night, Aiko goes to her grandmother's house. Her grandmother is old, with gentle eyes. She doesn't ask questions. She pours tea. They sit on the porch in silence. "Finally," she says quietly.
"You can't stop the wind, Aiko, but you can wear a stronger coat."
Aiko doesn't answer. But something shifts. Maybe she doesn't have to become harder. Maybe she doesn't have to stop feeling. Maybe she just has to learn how to hold herself together in the storm. The next day, Aiko wakes up and makes a promise. "I'm going to try." She doesn't know how, but she knows she can't keep letting the world shake her so easily. So she starts searching, not for escape, but for stillness. She learns there are 3 pillars to emotional immunity. 1. Mindfulness, being present in the moment. 2. Emotional regulation, feeling without overreacting. 3. Mental resilience, observing thoughts without believing them. Aiko starts small. Each morning she sits on her tiny balcony. She closes her eyes, she breathes. At first, her thoughts rush in like a tidal wave. She remembers that comment about her voice. She remembers forgetting her lines. But she learns to watch the thoughts, not to fight them, just to see them come and go. She hears the wind in the trees, birds calling, cars passing. For the first time, she realizes how noisy her mind has always been, how little she actually listened to the world around her. She opens her eyes and feels a little lighter. A week later, her best friend posts photos from a day out. She wasn't invited. Her stomach drops, her chest tightens. Old thoughts arrive. They hate you, you're forgettable, you're unimportant. She wants to throw her phone, to cry, to rage, but instead she breathes. She sits down with her journal and writes.
I feel hurt, but I don't need to act on it. It's okay to feel. I don't have to be okay all the time.
She closes the book. The ache is still there, but it's quieter. She doesn't text angry words. She doesn't make passive-aggressive comments. She just lets herself feel and moves on. Aiko learns something important. Not every thought is true. She imagines her thoughts like trains at a station. One says, "You're not good enough." Another says, "They're talking about you." A third screams, "You'll never belong." But she doesn't have to get on. She can just watch them pass. Some days it's easy. Some days it's impossibly hard. But she tries. And slowly, she gets better at it. Then comes the real test. She gives a class presentation. Halfway through, the teacher interrupts. "Aiko, can you speak louder?" This isn't clear. Her face flushes. Her hands shake. The old Aiko would have shut down, apologized, mumbled. But now, she takes a breath. She nods. She speaks louder. She finishes the presentation with her heart racing. When she sits down, she doesn't collapse. She breathes. She whispers to herself.
Nothing about the world changed, but I did.
School doesn't get easier. People still gossip. Tests are still hard. But something is different. Aiko doesn't take everything in. When classmates whisper, she doesn't assume it's about her. When someone snaps at her, she doesn't collapse into tears. Her heart is no longer an open window. The storm stays outside. Emotional immunity isn't coldness. It's not pretending you don't care. It's not isolation. It's clarity, boundaries, strength. It's being able to feel everything without letting everything control you. Aiko didn't become less emotional. She became wiser. She learned when to open her heart and when to hold it close. She didn't stop feeling. She just stopped drowning. If you've ever felt too sensitive, too emotional, too affected by the world, maybe it's not that you feel too much. Maybe you just haven't learned yet how to protect your peace. You can't stop the storm, but you can build the shelter. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, pause. Breathe. Watch your thoughts pass like trains. Ask yourself, do I want to get on this one? What's one thing that always throws off your emotional balance? And how could you respond differently next time? Leave a comment. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if Aiko's story inspired you, subscribe to the Narrator for more stories of inner strength, healing, and resilience. Because sometimes, the greatest act of strength is learning how to stay soft without falling apart.